public pretender standpoint, and mostly from a jury standpoint, and knowing that that person did not do what they are accused of doing, and still that judge allows the prosecution to fabricate evidence and present fabricated evidence to the jury. The public pretender knows, has evidence that this person did not do this, yet they will actually convince this person that, well, you're going to be found guilty, so you may as well take a deal. And that, of course, is worse than a dishonorable event, dishonorable act. It's criminal. And then to have a jury sit up in a jury room and have doubts, and it says that if you have doubts, reasonable doubts, that you must find the person not guilty. Well, we know from talking to juries after the fact that many of them not only had reasonable doubts, they had serious life-altering doubts. Many of them talk about how they just couldn't sleep because they knew they had sent an innocent person to prison, or believed that they had sent an innocent person to prison. And that's not just a dishonorable act, that is a criminal act on the part of that jury member or those jury members. So we talked about, the not just the dishonorable things that are done, but we talked about the stealing, the destruction. You got people talking about how much they want to help the people of Africa, and blacks really don't understand that in order to, if you truly want to help the people of Africa, well, you know exactly what is causing the problems in Africa. You would have to take away the people who are raping Africa. You would have to take away the people who are selling guns to both sides, instigating conflicts on both sides. And wherever you see conflict anywhere in the world, of course, you're going to find the Caucasoid species. And so that's a hard pill for a lot of house Negroes to swallow, because they have spent the past 40, 45, 50 years pretending that white people are not that bad, that white people do not deliberately do things to harm. They just, it just happened. They were talking about a situation with Chicago where black males are killing up each other. And of course, anytime you're talking about white people, black people are very quick to say, well, black people are killing up each other and black children are killing each other. And so you have to break it down for them. Okay, why? Why are they killing each other? Where are they getting the weapons to kill each other? That's the first thing. The second thing is, what are they killing each other over? And so in this particular magazine that I brought up to them, it has this big article about how the parents were, one in Chicago, were all upset because there's so many children who, their lockers are now empty at school. Their names are written on, memorial things where they died, sidewalks, whatnot. And you go around the town and you see all of these stuffed animals in these makeshift memorials. You notice how many people died that night or that week or that month, children. And so, of course, the main question is, why is this happening? And then when you look on the pages before the article and the pages after the article, and they talk about how the parents are just, at their wits' end and at a loss to find out, figure out how to stop this from happening and what to do. And you look on the pages, the advertisement before the article and the advertisement after the article, and what you see is always a white company, a white record company promoting a Negro rapper. And the advertising before the article has this gangster rapper with no shirt on, his pants hanging down so you can see his underwear, got tattoos all over his place, NWA in big giant letters on his chest. And then, of course, the advertising afterwards is pretty much the same thing. They're advertising, everything from rap records that talk about, pimping young girls to rap records that all of them are talking about, killing this Negro, killing this Negro. And when you're listening to them, I tell them, just close your eyes and listen to some of this, if you can get through it, some of this rap stuff. And it sounds like if you did not know that this was a black person talking, you would think that you were listening to a song being sung by a card-carrying Klan member. You would expect the same words being spit out of these black rappers' mouths to come out of the mouths of Klan members, of hate groups that hate black people. So that's one of the main things that you notice when you have black people acting as if they have no clue. How can you have lived to the age of 40 and not have a clue as to how rap got this way? If you were, 20 years old in the 80s, then you got to see white companies that know, you got to see from the 70s, you got to see white people being sued left and right for calling black people the N-word. And in the 80s, you got to see those same white entities, those same white people now being in charge of record companies and paying black males to call each other that. And, of course, when you go back to it, you're going to find the most notorious culprit, of course, when whites paid Richard Pryor to stand up on stage in a room full of white people and call black people the N-word 150 times a night. And so, you're able to buy a Negro, if you will. And so when people talk about how the support that whites have in America for rap, and how, white people, they had a stupid thing today that someone mentioned about Demi Moore, a white woman, doing some kind of dance with Snoop Doggy Dogg, and how, this post-racist America, post-racial America, you actually have a white actress like Demi Moore actually, stooping down low enough to be comfortable dancing with a gangster like Snoop Doggy Dogg.